Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Erasmus Expeditions. We are here tonight with session number 39 of our ongoing D&D 5th edition campaign titled Evermore le Masquerade. This game takes place in a homebrew world of mine known as Rostveen. In particular, it takes place in a kingdom known as Gerdes, which is very heavily based on the Baroque periods of Spain, France, and Venice. And yeah, it's been a ball so far, pun intended. Tonight's episode is going to be called An Alluring Mystique. I named it after myself, naturally. But yeah, this has been a fantastic game so far. I'm very excited to get to this. This will technically be our second masquerade ball this evening, but it should be very different from the first, I hope. So, before we get started, I'm going to give the same warning that I give on the beginning of every single one of my games, and that is if foul language and mature subject matter are a problem for you, then this is not a great place for you to entertain yourself. Particularly this game, while we will never, ever, ever feature explicit sex, sexuality, and innuendo are very heavy parts of the Gerdessi culture, and they feature in this campaign. We will get about as close as we possibly can. So, if that kind of thing makes you squeamish, then vamonos. If not, then welcome, have a seat. But before we get started, I'm going to pass things over to my players so that they can introduce themselves, tell you where you may be able to find them on the internet or not, and plug anything that they have going on. And we're going to start with Kenya.
Hello, folks. As is still stands true after 38 other episodes, I am Masterson, and I am on the interwebs here mostly. I don't really play a lot on other places anymore. Just, life and stuff. But you can always find me here on the fourth Wednesday of every month. For the best darn tootinest, eloquent bard, changeling, sneaky lies and political gains type gameplay that you'll see on the fourth Wednesday of every month. Anyways, I don't know. I'm rambling. It's been a much needed weekend coming up. So I am playing Vera, and I am the bard of the group, who may or may not have some minor uh slowly growing communication with a certain chained demon somewhere deep down in the bottom of a book. We're not, we'll just see what happens. But other than that, excited to be here. Can't wait. It has been too long. Life lifed us last month, and I can't wait to play tonight. So I'm gonna shut up and get us going. And I'm gonna send you down to Matt.
Hello, everyone. I'm Matt. This also is kind of where I am on the internet these days. This is where you can see me. Sometimes I post over on Blue Sky, but that's about it these days. So uh, I am very excited tonight to be playing, as always, Loxley LaCroix, who we recently discovered is actually comes from a noble, wealthy background, but his whole family was wiped out in a coup of sorts. Um, and he's looking to maybe dish out some vengeance to those responsible for that, and a slew of other things that have happened since he returned to Aladalgo. So, anyway, I'm excited to go to a party tonight. That should be fun. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I cannot see who's next to me. So, oh no, yes, I can. It's M. I'm going to toss it on over to M.
Hello, I am playing Sylvie Levine, and I'm very excited to play, to get into it. It has been, a very long day, but I'm just looking forward to, relaxing, getting into it, and seeing all the wonderful outfits and food, and nothing bad will happen. I am very sure of it, absolutely. Let's do it. I will pass it over to Austin.
Yes, I'm Austin. I thought I was muted, but I was not. Turns out. Whoops. Uh, yeah. Anyway, scatterbrained. So I will be playing Guillaume Delestote, the resident wanted fugitive and arrogant prick of the group. Um, but he's learning and he's softening. Um, Not very quickly, but he is doing it. And yeah, I can be found occasionally on this channel and also for different reasons on this channel. And that's it. Um, Last month we did a fantastic one shot. Go check that out. That was a ton of fun. I got to play a little creep. Uh, and it was maybe my favorite character I've played in a one shot. So I forget what the title of that one was, but look for it on Jeremy's channel because it's good shit. And I am here every month as well. So not a whole lot to add. I am very excited to get into things tonight and go to the ball because I'm going to be so pretty. And with that, I will pass it up to Karen.
Hello, everyone. I'm Karen, otherwise known as Myth and Gears, and I am so excited to be back to this game. I've missed it a lot. Looking forward to whatever's in store for us tonight. I hope it doesn't end the same way that the other Masquerade Ball ended, because that was not very fun. But looking for good times, good memories, all that kind of thing. I'm playing Commander Diego Ruiz y Gonzala, and a whole bunch of other names, and we're just not going to end that tonight because I want to get playing. So I'm going to pass it off to Jeremy. Okay, bye.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I've adored the story that we've managed to tell so far in this setting and with these characters, and I'm very, very much looking forward to this. I hit a roadblock whenever I was prepping some of this, and my beautiful, talented, brilliant wife helped me work through it. So thank you, Jeremy. So I am very, very, very pleased with where we landed, and I think without further ado, then we can go ahead and get into this. Yeah, all right. There are few things that we fear more than the unknown. How strange it is, then, to construct an entire gathering where we turn the members of our social circles back into strangers for an evening. A masquerade is a paradox by its very nature. On the one hand, we have the attraction of anonymity. We can be whomever, whatever we wish, refusing to be defined by the world that recognizes us. On the other hand, we flirt with the voyeurism of trying to break that very secrecy of everyone else around us. It is this balance of playing two games at once, the mirth and merriment with an underlying current of naughty prying, that gives such an event its allure. And in the secluded, quiet corners of such a night, what happens when people are completely hidden from view is perhaps the greatest mystery of all. We are still in the city of Aladalgo with all of its winding canals and narrow streets. It's gondoliers who sing to and fro, sometimes to people who are leaning out their balcony windows, joining in at some points. It is a city for lovers. It is a city for art and music. But it is also a city that has a dark underbelly. And as of late, it seems as though maybe that has started to overshadow the usual tone of Aladalgo. You notice that there are fewer people out during the day. There's a little less celebration, as there seems to be usually. Mardival is over. But there's usually those who kind of carry the party on for a little while after. And there doesn't seem to be that kind of lingering presence here. The city seems to almost be turning in on itself. You have recently just sprung several political prisoners from a prison not far off of the shore of the lake, and have kind of been laying low as best as you can in a safe house here in town that was provided by some friends, of Sylvie's. And you have heard that there will be a coming of age ball, a mask that is being thrown in the honor of Primanda de Valino by her mother, who's known as the widow of Aladalgo. You've met both of these people before. So you are at the safe house currently, and there is a knock at the door.
Vera will look over at Lox, like, you're the large man of the group. Answer the dangerous door.
Yeah, I will go over to the door and kind of open it a crack and peer outside.
Okay. You do so, and you can see standing in the kind of like covered landing at the top of the external staircase that leads up to this place is a hooded individual, but he is someone you recognize. It is Jarek Reinhardt, who seemed to kind of be the initiator that Sylvie spoke with and met with, who is kind of the reason that you have this safe house. I don't know if Sylvie told you quite or not, but he is a Vicrillian spy master.
I'll sort of usher him inside quickly and snap the door closed behind him.
Thank you. It is not as pleasant out there as it usually is.
Well, I can't guarantee it's much more pleasant in here, but welcome.
It does smell a bit musty. Perhaps maybe opening a window or two from time to time might help. Well, I don't want to overstay my welcome. Where is Sylvie? Kind of like starts craning around the room looking for the seamstress.
I imagine in Sylvie fashion, in preparation for this masquerade that we're going to, Sylvie, you see that she is behind a wall of fabrics that she has kind of pinned up in this haphazard fashion around the room. Has kind of like turned this at least like a quarter of this safe house into her own sewing shop. Just a moment. You hear her as she stumbles out with all of like fabrics all over her. She's holding several like pins in her teeth.
Ah, there you are, darling. You just about finished?
Yes, I believe so. Is it that are we late?
No. There's still time yet. Just curious. It seems you have been. He kind of like lifts up one of the hems of the nearby dresses. Rather busy.
She immediately like slaps his hand and like tuts him away.
Oh. He kind of like shakes his like ruffled sleeve, as if maybe that scared him more than hurt him.
It is not finished yet.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Who am I to judge someone in the middle of their work? Well, I came to deliver the invitations that you'll need in order to gain entrance into the ball. I did bring 5. Was not able to procure +1s, I'm afraid. He kind of looks around the room. Not that you may need it. But these come at a cost. He kind of like halfway extends them to you, and then when you reach, kind of like pulls them back. It appears our mutual friends need a favor in return.
Of course. We never get something for nothing.
Indeed. Indeed. You remind me a lot of your father. Well, there's a double agent that we would like for you to meet tonight at the ball. You would only come and speak with your group under the protection of the anonymity of the masquerade. You will know them by the phrase, "The pea-chick flew the nest by my hand."
Not to interrupt, but is there a counter phrase we're supposed to identify ourselves with, or does he or she already know who we are?
They will already know who you are.
Very well.
You will meet with this individual, and they are to pass information along to you, which you will then pass along to us.
That seems simple enough. Who is after them?
That is not information that we are ready to share.
I have to know what is the level of danger we have while having this information, so we can ensure that we are properly equipped to handle it.
He kind of looks at you and extends the 5 invitations. It won't be any more trouble than you're already in.
Got it. Extra hidden dagger holders, she says as she sighs at the dresses.
Vera, who's kind of messing with her hair or something in a mirror when he says that line, she just kind of snarks over her shoulder. That sounds like a challenge to me.
There will be, of course, no visible weapons or armor allowed, as you might expect, so plan accordingly, he says as he kind of like touches one of the dagger pockets that you're like currently sewing.
Of course. Surely you do not think me an amateur.
Of course not. As I said, who am I to question an artiste in the middle of their work? Well, I really must be going. I hope that you enjoy yourselves, and I'm looking forward to hearing what juicy gossip you bring back. Ta-ta, he says, and he lets himself out.
Though they are never forthcoming with their contacts, I know this. I am not comforted by the statement that they are no more danger than what we are already in, because we are already in a lot of danger, and I'm sure that he knows that.
Well, as far as I see it, we knew there was going to be a catch to this deal, and if that catch means us potentially hooking up with an ally, I think that's a pretty good deal. I'd take that deal.
It is usual for this type of gathering. Spies' favorite parties, secrets.
Well, in any case, we're able to do this because of your connections, Sylvie. Understand it hasn't been easy, but it's appreciated.
It is what we needed at the time. Like Sylvie nods. It is what we needed. We have not yet overstayed our welcome, but they will keep asking of us as we continue to ask of them. Nothing that they do is going to be out of the goodness of their heart, or even for the respect of my family. That grace was only extended to them even talking to us.
All right then. So now are we all getting dressed?
Okay. Sounds like we're going to a party. All right.
Quickly,
Yes.
sorry, Jeremy, I don't want to
Please, no.
interrupt. I realized I can have two bonded weapons as a Eldritch Knight, and I've only bonded with one. I would
Interesting.
just
Okay.
like to spend an hour between last session
Oh
and
yeah.
the party, bonding with a dagger as well. So now I can summon a dagger as well if I need it.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah, finding an hour to do so would not be difficult at all. Okay.
That actually reminded me, I did want to, over the course of between, over the nights that we've been here and stuff, at some point, Vera would have messaged Ella just to see if she's doing well, if she's still there. She's trying to suss out if it sounds like like Ella has been compromised at all.
Hmm.
So, and she also just wants to check in on her, make sure she's okay. So she would send her a message one night and she would simply say to her, Ella, my darling, um, are you are you well? I'm sorry I have not been available. I have missed you. And she'll just kind of leave it at that.
Okay. A moment passes, and then you hear the reply. Vera, where are you? Things are not going well. Some of the... Listen, we should meet. We need to meet. Please, I need to see you.
Um, she will tell her that she will be able to see her. She'll send another spell. And essentially, she's going to tell her that they'll meet up basically the day after this ball
Okay.
happens.
Sure, sure.
Um, I will meet you. I will reach out and we'll figure something out, perhaps on Saturday, some point.
Okay. Um, she replies, uh, continue to lay low. There are people looking for you. Be safe. I will see you soon.
Okay. She will inform the group that she has reached out to her too. She's not keeping any secrets from them. And she'll let them know of her plan to meet uh Ella once we are done with this completely safe and not in any way, shape, or form dangerous or adventurous ball we're about to go to. So
It's just a party.
it's just a party.
Nobody died having fun. Okay. Is there anything else that you guys, and ladies and other folks want to do before we get to the masquerade itself? Any conversations that you need to have with one another, or anything you want to take care of before you do the last thing that you might ever do?
Well, I guess to make it known, because I guess we're trying to lie low a little bit. Chimeran will have dyed his hair so that it is black instead of his bright
Okay.
red.
We got
There you go.
an amulet recently that acts like a ring and spell storing. Counters the spell cast at the wearer. Would I have been able to load a counter spell into that?
Let me see real quick.
I know it's a reaction more than anything. I'm not sure how that would work.
Amulet of the
Spell
As
store.
Mage. Magi, as on Magi. But it only allows the storing of a single spell of up to 6th level. Unlike a ring of spell storing, the wearer cannot reclaim the spell. Instead, whenever the same spell, or a spell that would normally counter the spell, such as a haste spell, countering spells. Yeah, loading a counterspell into it would be a great choice, I think.
Okay, perfect. Then I would like to have done that before we rested.
Okay. Your mic is a little quiet. I don't know if it's...
Let me make sure that I'm set up. Should be. I'll talk loud. I can project.
From the diaphragm.
They used to turn my microphone off when I did school plays because I projected too much.
The good quality. Okay. I think then we're ready to go. Okay. So this masquerade is going to be the coming of age celebration for Primenda Devellino. You've met this gifted poisoner at least once before, maybe twice before, and know that she's not really into a lot of the pomp and circumstance that takes place in upper crust society here in Aladago, of which her mother is certainly one of the proponents of. Her mother, Vidova Devellino, is colloquially known as the widow of Aladago. She is a consigliera, which means she sits on the council in Aladago that kind of governs and makes a lot of the decisions for the city. So she is very much one of the rich and powerful. So whenever she throws a party, it becomes the party, and everybody tries to be there. So you know that this will be a gathering of the best, the brightest, or at least the people with the most means here in Aladago. A night to remember. So you know that often the way that these parties work is that there are magics in place that help stay anonymous beyond just the gift of a mask. So whenever you arrive at this event, the only known identities that you will have at your disposal will be that of Primanda and her mother. Everyone else is a mystery. There are no visible armor or weapons allowed, as the Spy Master had stated, so if you have anything like that you bring to the party, it will be checked at the door. If anybody is trying to smuggle weapons in, then we need to get our first rolls for the night. I would like a sleight of hand from you, please.
I would like to smuggle one in.
Then sleight your hand.
My hand is slighted. 23.
You sleighted well. Yeah, you managed to. What were you sneaking in? I guess I should ask.
I was sneaking in a dagger, in particular,
dagger,
the Edge
okay.
of Night
Ah,
dagger.
okay. That's the new one that you just got, right?
Yeah, I can't wait to use it.
It's the very stabby one, if I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, dagger makes perfect sense. You're able to get that past the people who are guarding the doors.
Guillaume wants to smuggle in a dagger, but only because it is attached to his cane. It is his arcane focus. Like it's the
Okay.
orb on the end of his dagger, but it's his arcane focus. Ooh, okay. That's not bad. That is a sleight of hand, right? That's an 18.
Okay. You likewise are able to get this past the guards at the door without any issue.
Vera is not trying to take a weapon in. She
Okay.
is
Neither is Sylvie, but Sylvie does have jewels, I would say, decoratively sewn into her sleeves.
Fair enough. Yeah. And then obviously I think Lox has his on standby somewhere.
I'm always strapped. Yep, I'm ready to go. I left him at home, but I'm good.
Carrying that heat you don't see.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. That's right.
Okay. Cool. So, as we arrive at the ball, we see the kinds of things that you would expect. We can hear the music pouring out from, the quintet of bards that are playing, and it's a lively, jaunty, energetic tune that everybody's kind of entering this party. You pass under, twin fire breathers, that are, taking sips of some kind of liquid out of a bottle and then holding a torch up to their mouth and blowing fire up sky high. You see a couple of performers who are walking around on stilts that look like they're, some kind of monstrous costume, some kind of monstrous figure that's looming overhead. You can see even the outside of this manor has been decorated for this event. There are fresh flowers that are kind of hung everywhere. There are all kinds of gilded decorations that have been strung up. And it's clear from the get-go that no shortage of money has been spent on this event, which is exactly the point. That's exactly what all of this is meant for you to think as you walk in. You know that as a part of one of these events, the hidden identities is kind of the point. Again, this anonymity is part of the allure of one of these events, but it's also a game that is typically played at these parties. And frequently throughout the evening, people will come up to you and ask truth or lie. And you are expected to say a fact about yourself. And it might be true, or it might be a lie. And the person has to try to guess. If they guess correctly, then you are that much closer to becoming revealed, becoming unmasked. So, to indicate that, we are going to turn on your dual dice and your little mask symbols. This means that the mask here in the bottom right corners show that you are still anonymous. The dual dice is going to represent how close you are to being unmasked. Um. So, as the night begins, the first thing that I would like is, under all of this grand display of wealth and frivolity, is, as the five of you arrive, what do we see?
I don't think Chimeran's going to arrive like with everybody. I think we're gonna maybe enter in one and twos or whatever. So when we see him enter, he's got his long black hair. His face is covered with this mask that can be none other than a peacock. It has the gold beak. It's the feathers. It is quite exquisite. Looks like it might have cost a pretty penny. His attire matches the mask. So he's in his teals and light blues and purples and all sorts of wonderful colors. He's in a tall, not tall, a long, I want to say like a tail coat, except that, it's not like a tux, but it has the long tails behind, and everything is very like gauzy and lacy and um, almost ephemeral kind of thing as he walks. It kind of moves a little bit with him. Of course, the front under his jacket is this ruffled shirt, and we've got like lots of ruffles. He's got the high-heeled shoes going, as well as the tights that are again a pale blue and teal with it. Um, as such, he looks like a peacock, really, very well dressed.
Locks is uh, he sort of slides into the gathering with the crowd, um, and the mask that he's wearing is it's like almost demonic looking, and what he's going for is like a almost like a vampiric sort of visage on his face. um he's very like sort of gaunt, sort of fiendish features, and the mask sort of sweeps off to the side and sort of insinuates like long tapered ears coming off the side. And to uh to sort of pair with the mask, he's wearing like a long black uh sort of suit jacket, almost like a sherwani with like a high collar and like sort of like down to the knees, very sleek and simple, um dark, and so it doesn't have a ton of sort of flashy accoutrement to it. And it's sort of like long sleeves that sort of go past sort of mid knuckle, just very sleek, very elegant, very fitted to him. And no hat tonight. He's just, his hair is sort of swept back. He's rocking the gray streaks, the gray temples. And yeah, he's sort of sticking to the edge of the crowd as he sidles in this getup. And he's sort of going to be observing for the most part, sort of sticking to the edges of the party if he can.
I think Guillaume is in a large, not like large for him, but like very large, like large compared to the jackets he would normally wear, sort of ornate, dark navy blue to the point of almost being black, with gold and red trim, and like incredibly poncy breeches, with a really stark white, connected to the feet. And he's wearing a full face covering mask with a really thin black painted on smile, and sort of mocking eyes.
Vera she walks in and she's wearing this, um, it's kind of this haltered suit dress almost. Um, it's comes up around the neck and it's all in kind of this white and it bustles up in the front, the way she's accustomed to kind of wearing, where you probably see it comes up to about, maybe just above her knees and stuff. And, for those that know her, know that she likes to keep her uh pan flute and stuff always tucked up into her garter belt up there so that it is always at hand if she needs it. And it's white, but it's not pure white. It's almost this kind of full moon, silvery white blue kind of iridescent type material. And the boots that she's wearing have this kind of ombre effect where at the top they match the suit and the dress and everything that she's wearing, but towards the bottom of them, towards the end of these boots that she's wearing, they kind of ombre into this like deeper gray color. And then she's wearing these very long arm gloves that mimic the same look of the boot. But the center of the whole like key piece of the outfit that ties it all together is that her face is completely covered by this massive kind of very finely crafted looking bone style mask. It almost looks like the skull of a creature, and anyone that looks close to it will realize that it is shaped to be the head of a wolf. And it has these big, huge ears that come up the top of it, and her hair is colored to match the rest of the outfit with the occasional brownish colored or gray colored, like deeper gray colored streak that matches the hands and the feet. And so her entire outfit is that she's giving off this almost kind of Garu formed, like half werewolf type sophisticated look as she walks in. And she's very much, for those in the group that are seeing it, she is absolutely taking a lot of influence from their newly made friends that they have. And she looks like this very, very sultry and sophisticated werewolf.
I think that Sylvie has a very long dress, similarly to Chimeran, with lots of ruffles. And when you first look at the dress, it actually looks quite plain with beige, and it's kind of like this off beigey color. But when she moves and different light sources hit it, you can see that Sylvie has changed the density of the fabric in a way that when the light shines through it, you can see that it looks like it's covered in these clouds. And you see these pops of colors peeping out from this beige over dress. And you see the colors are that of these very dark blues and purples and pinks, to similarly with these kind of modeled fabric to look like it is kind of dusk. Similarly, she wears a mask that is not metal, but also kind of overlaid with this fabric, the same fabric of the dress that she wears.
Hell yes. Okay. At various stages, maybe in clusters or individually, we see you arrive here to the masquerade. Um, Again, it becomes readily apparent as you enter the house itself that this is every bit as much about showing off the extreme wealth and the art that this family has collected. You've been in this manor house before, and while it was very well appointed and very well maintained even then, things have been moved around in such a way that it's very much about leading the eye to the various treasures that are on display here. The first thing that I think all of you would probably notice beyond that is that the Olivida flows here like cheap wine would at a regular party. You see it in fountains, and you see it anywhere you look. Everywhere you turn, you can see casks that are on tap and glasses that are full of Olivida. You see, a number of contortionists that are on raised platforms that are twisting their body into kind of different odd shapes that are equal parts mesmerizing and disturbing. One of them has a mask on the front of their head as well as the back, and sometimes it's hard to tell exactly where this person's face actually is. And you can see these kinds of sights all around you. This extravagance, this strangeness on display. I'm curious if each one of you would please tell me something that we see here at this mask.
I think one of the things that's kind of on display here, and it's this, you don't actually see the people per se, but one of the walls of this massive room that we're in is artificial. And it's very obvious because it is so paper thin that the way the backlighting is, you can see through it. And what you see is you see these silhouettes of these people that are essentially in using props behind the wall. There's almost a shadow puppet kind of silhouette thing that's going on here. And they are telling uh, these different tales and folklore of the city. Some of them are depictions. If you stand and watch, you can eventually, as a patron of the city, you know these stories, and you can watch and you can identify a famous love story about two teenagers that were in love at one time, or a story about the murder of some sort of famous person's wife and the culprit behind that. But the thing that's really twisted about all of it is that every single one of these stories, there's one part of it that is a lie, that is false, that is not the story in the original story, in the original folklore that you know. Um, for example, perhaps in the true story, the teenagers, you know, died together in a fit of love. Well, in this one, they make it out and they end up with a happy family where everything follows until you get to that point. And it's very much reminiscent and kind of a call to that idea of what's going on at this ball tonight. This two lies, one fact identifying. They're kind of playing that into these stories as these silhouettes tell these tales along the wall for entertainment.
Something that you wouldn't have seen the last time we were here, that is a new addition, seems to be a series of intricately carved, probably marble statues that were obviously commissioned for this event specifically. Really extreme show of wealth. Um, and this is one of the few places where you see Pramanda in her own event. This is a touch that she probably added to these statues. All of them, I think that not only are they like well intricately carved, I think they're also intricately painted and very like lifelike. Eh, but all of them have something that is subtly off that to kind of a learned eye would indicate as signs of either death or impending death. Some of them have just the wrong pallor slightly. Some of them have like little like inflamed seeming lines running across veins. That would be either, you know, probably indicative of poisonings or other kind of blood maladies, things like that. Some of them have like very subtle, like little nicks and lines where it seems like open artery might be. Um, so yeah, just a slightly like very lifelike and beautiful if you just glance at them. But if you really start studying them, you realize that this thing is a reminder of death.
Off of one, like off of the gallery, off to one side, there's this short hallway that goes to like maybe another sitting room, whatever. But it is like the hall of mirrors. So on both sides, there's mirrors that reflect, but every once in a while, there'll be a mirror that is a little off. This is the same as that the um, Kenny was talking about, where it reflects, but it seems to be off time, either forward or backwards. So it's like just a couple of seconds off the off the real time. So if you walked past it, you won't see yourself until a little bit later. And just enough to give you that feeling of unease.
I think that there are these very large crystal structures, like almost like chandeliers that hang overhead of the many rooms that this party is taking up. Um, they're supposed to be decorative, but I think maybe when like a breeze kind of passes through, they all kind of hit each other, and it creates this very discordant, high pitch chime every so often as the wind kind of gusts through some of these open windows, and it just adds, I think, to this like very very beautiful, but also at times like just very, yeah, very discordant view.
On one of the like raised platforms where there's contortionists and dancers and things like that, there is a snake dancer. This dancer who has this large snake sort of wound around her limbs, and she has trained this snake to move in certain ways with her dance movements. Um, and it is beautiful to watch. It's sort of mesmerizing, the way that the dancer and the snake sort of move together. But there's also just a hint of uh, peril to the dance as well. This snake is very large and very powerful, and you can see in the way that the dancer moves that the snake is heavy, and there's this just air of danger around the performance. It's like watching someone dance with like a knife or fire or something. There's this constant feeling of risk that makes the performance even more mesmerizing to watch. And Locke finds himself watching the performance for a little bit longer than is necessary, just am amazed by what's happening.
Everywhere you look, there are dazzling displays of beauty, of skill, of art. It's almost a feast for the eyes and the ears. Again, music continues to play throughout the entire thing. There might even be, a few breaks where, a singer will step forward as a soloist and sing an entire like aria. Very operatic in nature. You see people who are swallowing swords. You see, people riding around on unicycles. It's almost like pandemonium. It's almost like 1,000 different things that are all happening at once in the same space. It's almost intoxicating in and of itself, where everywhere you turn, you can see some new splendor or some new extreme sight. I would like a volunteer, please. All right, Karen. Karen, you are being approached first by an anonymous partygoer. So, someone other than Karen, do me a favor and roll me a d4. Just let me know evens or odds.
Evens.
Evens, okay. Austin, roll me a percentile, if you would, please.
52.
52. Okay. And then a third person, roll a d100, please. Percentile. Anyone?
24.
24. All right. Okay. These are not my tables. I'm using some roll tables that I found somewhere that I thought were fun. So the person that has come up to you, Chimeran, for all intents and purposes, externally, seems to be a woman wearing an old, tattered, and yellowing wedding dress. But the mask that she sports looks like a cheap-looking monster mask. There are opportunistic vendors who are selling these outside the ball. So you're not really sure how in the world she got into this party, but she runs up to you excitedly, and she says, "Truth or lie?"
Do I list all of them or
Mm-mm.
just one?
Just one. In your choice.
I have a tiara fused with my skull.
Okay. And then roll me either persuasion or deception, if you would, please. It will be against their insight.
26.
26. Okay. You can see beneath this cheap mask that's just kind of held on by like thin ribbon. You can see her eyes kind of scrunched together as she examines you, particularly like maybe the sides of your mask to see if she can see anything. She says, "Lie," and she points to you.
Did I just say wrong or?
Is it in fact a lie?
No, it is truth.
Shocking. She kind of... Oh. Okay. On to another one then. And she kind of turns and runs off excitedly to the next person. Another volunteer, please. Austin. All right. Guillaume is next. Someone other than Austin, please roll me a d4 and tell me even or odds.
Even.
Even. Okay. And then a d100 from 2 people, please. They're not Austin.
83.
And
83.
98.
And 98. Okay. Austin. Guillaume sees another woman wearing a dress made entirely of flowers. Interestingly enough, the mask that she wears appears not mundane, but it is a crown of flowers that covers her eyes and nose, and it emits an intoxicating perfume while thorns stab at anyone trying to touch the mask. She comes up to you and stands kind of like uncomfortably close for just a moment or so, and then says, "Truth or lies?"
Real quick, when that perfume that emits, is that a familiar perfume or is it something that is unique to this?
Let's roll a history. Or alchemy.
Because
I think would either
he owns
could...
a perfume head.
Okay.
One of his truths or lies. So he's trying to figure out if that's someone to use on her. At
Perfect.
18, is it not an alchemy? Which one were you saying? History?
History or alchemy.
I don't think alchemy is a bit even arcana.
Hmm?
Or there's no alchemy.
Do you mean Arcana?
Oh, Arcana. Yes.
Okay. Either
I
of those
play
is gonna
Dungeons and Dragons.
either of those is going to be a 27.
Okay.
Jeremy's like, well, there should be an alchemy skill.
I mean, I fully agree. My character's
I'm
an
pretty sure there was
alchemist.
in 3rd edition. Maybe. We'll see. More gray in my beard.
It's 27 either.
27. All right. I would say with a roll like that you absolutely recognize this perfume.
Okay, then he will let's say to I anonymously created the entire Casa del Cavallo line of perfumes and colognes.
Okay. Roll me a persuasion or a deception. Don't tell me which.
Okay. 14.
Okay. She turns and she looks at you. Lie. Is it a lie? Or is it a
It
truth?
is not. It is not.
It is a
That's
truth.
like, yeah, he secretly has been putting colognes and perfumes out under a pseudonym for the last several years.
Incredible. Incredible.
And I don't know if any of you noticed, the name is Casa del Cavallo, which is the house of the horse.
The House of the Horse. Perfect. She kind of rears back. Oh, well, I never would have guessed. So very interesting. And she saunters off. while you are breaking the ice at the party and getting started, what are the five of you wanting to do here while you wait for this contact? Is there a goal, or are you just gonna have a good time, mingle?
I mean, I know Sylvie, as like having her store closed down has meant that she has lost a lot of the up to date news and gossip that has been happening as of recently. So she is going to be like hardcore people watching, trying to gain any information um, interesting to her that she can. She's not necessarily listening for anything that like concerns them. She just wants to get caught up to speed.
Okay, perfect.
I honestly feel like Vera would be kind of right there with her. That's
Yeah.
kind of like the two of them, you know, between the sewing and the seamstress and the, you know, her fabric store and stuff, and Vera's secrets and stuff. She would probably be trying to do the same thing, maybe comparing notes with Sylvie a little bit along the way, just kind of flitting information and gossip to each other back and forth. Um yeah, she'd definitely be doing that too.
Okay.
think Guillaume, as ill-advised as this may be, he is anytime he's at one of these events, he's immediately sucked into the truth or lie. And he is looking for certain body types of people that he thinks he might recognize. Particularly, he's looking for anyone that looks like they might fit the build of Rakatori. Just and like any of those people he's approaching and you know in that assumed voice, asking for their treatment line.
Fantastic.
I think Lox is hanging out by the sort of like any sort of banquet tables, and trying to resist eating too many uh, hors d'oeuvres. He's definitely like camping the snacks a little bit, but he's also just sort of like everyone comes through the food table at some point, and so he's sort of sticking close so he can sort of just take note of individual people, anyone that catches his interest. Like Guillaume, he's kind of keeping an eye out for anyone who fits the build of someone that they are looking for, or moves like someone they're looking for, or sounds like someone they're looking for. So yeah, yeah. No, what was it? It was the deviled eggs last time. If there
Yep.
if there are deviled eggs, he like keeps looking at them like wistfully, but he just cannot bring himself to have them. He's like, too soon, not yet, maybe someday.
Perfect.
Chimeran is also people watching, while not going up to them actually and asking a truth or lies, just more of trying to figure out who's here, like, and if there's not really like enemies, but people that we don't want to know that we're here and that kind of thing. So he's being very cautious, and keeping an eye out for people. Yeah, trying to suss them out without actually playing the game.
So you know that it is difficult, because there are magics at play in a place like this, that helps people remain anonymous. At least, while the game is afoot, as long as they are still a player in the game.
I
But
think it's
all
more of mannerisms and what people are doing that Chimera is
right.
looking for versus what they look like. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so first, gossip. Sylvie and Vera, if both of you please would give me a d20 roll.
$16.
$19.
All right, 16. Vera. You overhear, Vera, that the Padre Primero did not attend due to business at his family's castle. Sylvie, you overhear the Condessa Caterina Calavera Garbancera was not actually executed.
Just that she wasn't executed? Not.
Correct.
Oh.
So 2 juicy pieces of gossip right off the bat. 16 and 19. Okay. All right. Those that are people watching, trying to see if maybe they can suss out some identities here. Let's do. Let's do insight rolls from all 3 of you, please.
$23 for me.
12, 9, and a 23. Okay. Austin, you get caught in this like strange headspace where everybody looks suspicious. Where you're like, oh, that's got to be, so and so. But then you hear a voice and you whip around and you're like, no, I'm pretty sure that might be them. You're like, oh, but this could be, and you just kind of get caught up in this like spiral of this, and it unfortunately doesn't seem to really lead much of anywhere.
I think in addition to that, like after that happens long enough, he starts kind of giving up and almost forgetting what he was looking for, like originally, as he just gets fully caught up in the game of it, almost even forgetting that he's like trying to keep a low profile, where he's like really approaching people like the truth or lie, like just to everybody that he sees eventually, and getting no usable information out of it.
Right, absolutely. I once stole a piece of cheese. Oh,
Damn it, Jeremy, that's one of mine, dude.
I read your notes.
Lie, it was an entire wheel.
Dad? No.
And I stole it with my mouth.
Locks. Give me a percentile roll, if you would, please.
Ooh, okay. 67.
So close.
Oh no, 6-7. Ugh, I hate that I just rolled that. That's terrible.
Okay, this one actually fits pretty well. You end up talking to an individual who kind of just starts to go on and on. Standing there like refilling his plate while you're talking to him. And you basically come to find out more than you would ever want to know about this individual. His name is Maratha Tebrion. He is a half-elf. He's notorious. He is a notorious dandy. You've heard of this individual before. Tonight he is wearing a replica troubadour costume, but unlike the real version, it is exquisitely tailored and made from expensive fabrics. He tells you all about where he had it made. and that he would have gone to Savillon Boutique, but they had closed down because they apparently were infested with rats.
And it's just this, he like asked me if I know where the boutique is, and I say yes, I do, and he then proceeds to explain to me step by step where it is located from here. And it's one of those conversations where Lox is like actually sweating. It's he just cannot stand talking to this person a second longer. It's so terrible.
He reaches over for yet another Aladalgan stuffed egg, and you've watched this guy eat at least 6 or 7 of them at this point. There's a little bit like still in the corner of his mouth that's like exposed by his mask, and he's just continuing to talk like as he's chewing. It's painful.
Oh my God, this is awful.
All right, Chimeran. You, on the other hand, manage to find someone that seems somewhat familiar. Roll me 2 percentile dice, please.
So 6. And you want me to do that again? Right.
If you would, please, yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's perfect.
And 34.
34. Okay. This individual is wearing a brightly colored jester's costume, adorned with bells. And their mask also seems to be magical in nature, but interesting. Okay. The wearer's face is visible, but is constantly enveloped by an intoxicating, opaque cloud of perfume. So you approach this individual, and there's something familiar about him. In discussions back and forth, you get the impression that he knows you. That he might not know who you are, but that he knows you. There's a familiarity there.
Yeah, that's not creepy at all, really, honestly. He may not know who I am, but he knows me.
Yeah, he may not know who you are in this moment. He may not have identified you. But you get the impression that there is a familiarity there. There's something about the banter of conversation that leads you to believe that you know one another.
Oh, okay. So I may have clocked that, but has he?
You're getting the impression that he might be starting to. That he's kind of like feeling that out.
Then I will change how I talk to him and banter with before I quickly, well, not quickly, but before I break away at a good break and leave.
Okay. You change your tact a little and then politely wrap up the conversation and go about your business. Okay. So, there are 3 events that will be taking place throughout the evening that you can each choose to partake in or not. We have a potions drinking game, the coordinated dances that are happening throughout the evening, and a costume contest. We can do them in whichever order that you wish. So if anybody has strong feelings, you can go ahead and shout out.
I'm getting in on that potion game.
I refuse to get in on that potions game. That's it. That's a hard no for me. But I will do the dance. I like the dance. That sounds fun.
All right.
I'm gonna let G have these potions all to himself, and but Vera would definitely get in on the dances and the costume contest.
Yeah, Sylvie wants to do the costume.
Excellent.
Lox will do potions as well.
Okay. So let's do the costume contest first. That was Vera and Sylvie who were interested. Correct? Okay. Excellent. Both of you, please, give me, we'll call them performance rolls, and you can have advantage because of Sylvie's exquisite gifts.
I'm going to use one of my reactions. When you or another creature you can see makes an ability check or a saving throw, I'm going to use my reaction to add +5 to the roll. It's called like a flash of genius.
Okay.
So I imagine it's through some kind of like hidden pockets or zippers that can pull apart at the last minute to like add an extra wow factor that Sylvie has kind of put in.
Excellent. Fantastic. Okay, so Vera's got a 17. And then what does that end up giving you total, Sylvie?
Oh. Sorry. It took me a minute to find it.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so I ended up rolling an 11 on the die. That'll be an 18 total with my +5.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, so many of the costumes are splendid and fascinating. Some of them mundane, some of them with magical elements kind of woven into them. But the presentation is also something that matters. And in the end, it really came down to Vera, Sylvie, and one other individual who is also appears to be a woman in an elegant dress with a plunging neckline and white feathered wings resembling a swan. It came down to the three of you, and through show of applause, Sylvie, with your changing outfit at the last moment, you pull the victory out of Vera's hands by a nose.
Yeah, I think Guillaume is like gearing up to prestidigitation, like extra clapping for Sylvie, but then realizes like as he's about to cast it that it's like, oh, it's deafening, and just kind of just lets it go. Like, nah, I don't even need to cheat.
Vera doesn't, she's not like, she completely, when she realizes the clapping and stuff, she stands next to Sylvie and starts clapping for her and starts doing this very kind of overly dramatic and showy, like bowing to Sylvie and like kind of really just pumping her up kind of a vibe.
There is, in fact, thunderous applause. Everybody is raising their glasses in your direction, Sylvie, and shouting praise and huzzas upon you. Okay. So, after the costume contest, who has not been approached for Truth or Lies yet? Does anyone want to volunteer? Sylvie? Okay, that makes sense. Right on the heels of the competition. Somebody who is not Sylvie, please roll me a d4. Evens or odds?
Even.
Even. Okay. And somebody roll me 2 different sets of percentile, please.
34.
34.
And 38.
Very interesting. Okay. This person, Sylvie, approaches wearing a dress that appears to be made from discarded royal jewelry from past empires, and is behind a mask that is a paper cutout of one of the local deities, held in front of the face on a stick. They approach and say, "Truth or lies?"
Sylvie smiles, seeing all of the different jewels that this person is wearing. I once refused the marriage proposal of a duke in Vicaril.
Okay. Roll me a persuasion or a deception. Don't tell me which. What did you get?
22.
22. Okay. This individual looks at you and says, true.
Well, I am flattered. Do you think that I could get the attention of a duke? It is a lie.
Oh, she kind of like slams her fists against her thighs and like turns around with like, like a tinkling of these jewels and like wanders off towards someone else. Okay. So next we have the dances. There are 3 different dances, and this is the kind of thing where once the music begins, like you understand immediately like what this is. Like it's a particular dance that has steps to it, it has a name, and there are 3 of them that you will kind of hear throughout the contest. One of them is the Navarronian Sarabande. The next is the Kamenish Kavote. And the third is the Wintingham Waltz, which incidentally is a Vicarilian dance. Which of these dances would you be interested in competing in?
I think she'll pick so you said the first 2 are kind of unknown to us, but the third one we know, right?
They're all known to you.
Oh, they're
it's very
all known?
much like,
okay.
yeah, somebody saying, "Hey, let's do the tango," or what have you.
Okay.
These are local.
Whichever one of the dances is like the more kind of energetic one is what she'll do. She, not like a kind of boring waltz or anything like that. She wants to do something with a bit more oomph to it.
Okay. That would... go ahead.
Oh, and Chimeran would pick the one that probably has the most what's the most difficult steps, I guess. Like if like the most flashy moves / the most difficult choreography. Yeah, that's one he'd go for.
Okay. Sylvie, you were also doing the dance, right? No, you were not. Okay. Okay. So it sounds like probably Vera would probably go for the Kamenish Gavots. Kamenish are the like Celtic like based culture in Rostfien. So it would very much be kind of like a lively there's a lot of, jumping and skipping and kicking, a lot of screaming and laughing involved in that. As far as the most difficult, it would probably be the Wintingham Waltz. I would imagine. It's very much there are many circles on the dance floor at once, and you're kind of like in and out of them all together. So the choreography kind of matters as far as like knowing where to be when. So it's a much more difficult dance as far as that goes. Okay, so both of you, if you would please roll me either an acrobatics or a performance roll.
I got a 19.
Okay. How about you, Vera? What you got?
Sorry, 17. I had to
17.
use an inspiration because that one at first was not making
Not
me
acceptable.
happy there.
Yeah.
Not acceptable for Vera. So
Understood. Okay. So you both turn in a wonderful performance. There's a lively time had as these numbers, these musical numbers, kind of wind through the night, and in the end of things, you are in the upper winning group, if you will. Competition was tight, and there's a lot of very gifted dancers on the floor this evening, but barely, just barely, it is Chimeran who is crowned as the monarch of the dance, if you will. Again, there is no shortage of toasting. Some people maybe more than once now that the Olavita has been flowing for a while, and there is a lot of clapping and laughing, merriment. Okay. All right. Who else has not had Truth or Lies yet? Lox? Yeah. Okay. Lox, I saw your hand first, so somebody other than Lox, please roll me a d4. Tell me odds or evens.
odds.
Odds. Okay. And then two people other than Lox, please roll me percentile rolls.
I rolled 100.
100. Okay.
54.
54?
58. Oh, okay, never mind, sorry.
Okay. 54. Okay. Lox, the individual that approaches you, appears to be male from the outside, is dressed in overly embellished military dress uniform, and the mask they sport is a black fur-covered cat mask with vertical pupilled eyes. At intervals, the whiskers twitch. This individual approaches and kind of gives you like a partial bow, and then says, "If you would not mind, truth or lie?"
No, I don't mind. Let's see. Well, I happen to be pretty handy with a fishing pole.
Crosses his arms across this chest that sports like so much decoration that it's hard to believe that it's probably not fake. Kind of eyes you up and down for a moment. Go ahead and roll a persuasion or deception, if you would.
17.
Okay. Looks at you and says, truth.
Yeah, it's truth. I once caught a 2-pound perch out in the canals.
I had no idea there were perch in the canals.
Oh, there are if you know where to drop a line.
Very intriguing. Have a good evening. He says and kind
You
of
as
gives
well.
another partial bow. Fox, you drop from a D6 to a D4. Okay. Potion drinking time. This was Locke and Guillaume, correct? All
Boys
right.
drinking contest.
It's kind of like girls' dinner. All right. I need both of you, please, to roll a d20.
Am I adding anything to this?
Nope. Just a naked
right.
roll.
13.
20.
Damn,
13
dude.
and 20. All right.
Waste my nat 20 of the night on
On
a
the
selective
drinking
roll.
contest. I can't believe I wasted
Amazing.
a nat 20 on shotgunning hard iced tea.
I rolled a critical on this drinking contest, and all I got was this shirt. Locks. You end up with a lesser version of Thunderwave. For several moments after you shotgun this small glass, a small vial, no one can come near you, and you have a hard time approaching objects. And like anything that comes within a certain radius of you, or like that you come into the radius of, it like repels away from you. Like, not violently, but violently enough.
Wow. All right.
This is so on point. Guillaume, you rolled a 20. You got an orgasm. So you shotgun this drink, and immediately you feel that sensation wash over you.
Yeah.
Vera's just standing there. Oh my god, is he? Is he? Oh my god, he is. Oh my god, he is.
Vera would know.
But if other people go, I want what he's having.
Yeah, somehow like the mask twitches. And he's like, excuse me, I need to be excused. Excuse myself. And just like makes an excuse to leave and go find the facilities.
And as perfectly discreet as that was, everybody knows exactly what was going on. Because everybody knew that it was a possibility.
I imagine he's doing that thing where like he takes a few steps and then has to like grab a table or something and like and then like walk a little bit more.
Walking hunched over. Hilarious. So glad somebody rolled that. Okay. Excellent. So the party has continued on. There are lots of rounds of some of these games that are going on. Is there anything else that you are getting up to while this party kind of rages on through the evening?
Vera is going to Vera is going to kind of step off into a side kind of hidden area a little bit, and she is going to cast locate creature, and she is very specifically looking for the person that is imitating the old woman from the Castillo that she has run into, and is seeing if that person is at this party. Person, thing, creature, doppelganger, whatever.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an insight check.
Uh, 24.
24. Okay. Let's see.
But I'm casting locate person too, or locate creature. So I'm using a spell to do it.
What does the what are the confines of that spell? Does it say anything about like having to know the person or know their name or anything like
It
that?
says, describe or name a creature that is familiar to you. You sense the direction of the creature's
Okay.
location as long as that creature is within 1,000 feet of you.
Okay. Okay. You cast this spell and you kind of look out over this sea of people that are kind of like gathered here and there. And you think that you kind of get a little bit of an instinct towards the other side of the mansion. And as you kind of like follow this and make your way across, you actually see the individual that came close to winning the costume contest along with you, the woman that looked like a swan, speaking to another individual who is dressed to look like look like a fish, all done in like iridescent scales. And the two of them speak to one another, kind of in hushed tones, not with the same like merriment that happens at the rest of the party. But as you start to get a little closer, the individual that's wearing kind of the iridescent scaled outfit kind of perks up, almost like a dog when it hears a noise, and immediately turns and flees.
Does the feeling move with? Because it lasts for like 10 minutes.
It does.
So
yes.
It lasts, I think.
Yeah, it starts to fade, and then once they get beyond, you know, the range that you would expect it to work at, it fades and disappears.
Oh, it's concentration up to an hour. Okay. She's going to tuck that away since it is concentration up to an hour, unless she needs to do something else or a sudden fight breaks out in this completely peaceful and not at all a trap masquerade ball we're in. She's gonna keep that up, and if it comes back into her senses, she will like do her own version of a dog seeing something. That's it. Okay. Actually, you know what? I lied. She's gonna walk up to the swan that they were talking to. And she's going to walk up to the swan and truth or lies.
I am married to two people at once.
I will roll an insight. Nat 20 for a 31.
Okay. You get a clear read on this individual, and they are not lying.
She kind of smiles and truth.
There's like a smirk that kind of like breaks the corner of her mouth. You're the first one to guess one of them correctly.
Well, I have always been very good at this game. Your fish friend seems to have swam off.
Oh, I don't know that they are a friend. This game is good fun, but some take it a little too serious.
Did you guess correctly then?
I guessed correctly. Of course.
What was their truth or lie?
Oh, it is not for me to say. You would have to ask them.
I suppose so. Have you revealed anyone yet tonight?
A few.
Hmm.
Those who tend to leave the party early are not very good at this game.
It's true. Your costume is wonderful.
Thank you. Before you go, truth or lie?
She smiles and my eldest child is away in boarding school.
Please roll a deception or a persuasion for me.
18.
18. She regards you for a long moment, and then she kind of like shakes her head. Liar.
She smiles. You're good at this game.
I told you. Okay. You're now a D4. All right. I think we're going to go ahead and take our break here. So we're going to take a 10-minute bio, refill your drinks, smoke them if you got them, kiss your spouse, etc., etc. And then we will come back and finish up the second part of what we have planned for the Masquerade in session number 39 in Alluring Mystique. Sit tight. We'll be right back. welcome back from our break. We are playing Dungeons and Dragons, allegedly. This is Evermore le Masquerade. This is a ongoing campaign that is set in a homebrew world of mine that is very heavily based on the Baroque period. We are at session 39 already, which is crazy. It's wild to think about. So that probably puts this game at about 4 years old, give or take. Somewhere around there. So, an incredible feat, to say the least. All right. So, we are at the Masquerade celebration, a party to announce the coming of age of Tremenda de Valino, hosted by her mother, Vidova de Valino. We have had some truth and lies. We have had a potion drinking game. We have had a dancing contest. We have had a costume contest. We have seen sights and heard sounds that would make any small child gasp with wonder, but thankfully there are no small children at this party, because there are other things there that make grown people gasp with awe and have to run to the facilities for drinking specific potions. We're not pointing fingers, but you know who you are. Okay. The night has been one to remember thus far. However, it is still young. At some point, Lox, you are in the art gallery of this home, and you find yourself in front of one particular painting. This painting is familiar to you because it once hung in your family home. It depicts the entrance to your family's crypt. What does this painting look like?
The painting depicts it's this high arched stone door, and the ivy and the moss have been allowed to just completely overtake the stone of this archway. And the door itself is carved to resemble a peacock. Its body sort of is sculpted into the door itself, and then the feathers sort of create this really beautiful sort of symmetrical design carved into the door. The painting depicts this the entrance to this crypt with like a ray of sunlight kind of hitting it, and there are little birds sort of nesting in the ivy and the brambles sort of surrounding it. And so it's sort of the entrance to the crypt, this is where the dead are, but there's like sunlight shining on it, and there's like life, there's like verdant life around it, and the little birds and stuff. And so it's just Lox remembers it like vividly. It's like one of the like handful of things he actually remembers from that time when he lived there. And so seeing this painting, it's the most intense deja vu, sort of stumbling into it.
Kind of like as you're standing there regarding this painting for longer than just kind of a passing moment, that a tall, slender woman in a red dress with a low top, and then a red veil beneath a white half mask approaches you and kind of stands next to you for just a moment, And she says, I believe the widow Devolino purchased this painting sometime after the De Pluma family estate was dissolved.
Oh, De Pluma. I'm not familiar with that family. What happened to him?
Hmm. Very tragic. They were a casualty, I suppose would be the best way to put it, of the political war that goes on every day in Gerdessi politics.
It's beautiful painting, quite striking.
Indeed it is. The dual meanings, profound, beautiful, but tragic. Somber reminder.
You have to wonder what is on the other side of the door.
Indeed. She turns and regards you for a moment, and she says, the pea-chick flew the nest by my hand.
It like locks a moment because he's still sort of like lost in the regarding this painting. And he goes, oh, right. Yeah, it's you.
I
And he'll
thought it
kind of
might be.
like, he'll sort of like look around quickly and then keep looking at the painting. Well, what can we do for you?
She leans in a little more conspiratorially. The Justicaros were told to search the De Pluma crypt for a book the night that the family was slaughtered. But they did not find any sign of it. Now, Rocatore is dismantling it stone by stone with the intent of finding this book.
Book. Wait, why are you telling me this?
Because I think you might know something that they don't. She reaches out and kind of like touches you on the shoulder and locks for a moment, just a flash in your mind. You see the face of a dwarven woman that night, a Justicaro, finding you in your hiding place. But she did not kill you. Instead, she facilitated your escape. And then, in the next moment, that flash of memory is gone.
Why?
Why do they look for the book?
What could possibly be so important in a book? They have everything, took everything.
Not everything. She kind of like looks back up at this painting. Locks, when your eyes kind of follow her gaze, you realize that there is something that is different about this painting. Your memory of it was so vivid and so clear, but there was something amiss, and only now have you realized what it was. In your memory, this ornate door that is carved with the visage of a peacock was closed. In this very painting. But now before you, as you look at this painting, the door to the crypt is open.
What does that mean? Wait, is this not the original? Has this been altered?
When you turn to address the tall, slender woman in red, she's gone.
Lox is gonna go try to find an adult.
Don't come to any of us. Find an adult to your adult.
And there were none to be found.
No. Actually, probably the girl who's coming of age this party is probably the closest to an adult you'll get.
Yeah.
Are there any of you who
Vera's
notice
very
any-
easy to find with the white all over her and stuff, so she kind of sticks out in all the color and the darkness and the outfits, so
a Lox who looks a little lost in the moment, a little
Yeah.
frantic, maybe?
yeah. She walks over to him. Lux, are you okay?
Yeah. Come here, and I will lead Vera to that painting. Okay, so he looks around. I met the double agent, the person we were supposed to meet, and
Chick?
yeah, the P chick. Yeah, I know this painting. This is from the Diploma estate. That's from before my family got murdered. This painting was in our house.
All right. Okay.
But the door was closed. But look at it now. And that lady, she told me that Rockatore's pulling the crypt apart brick by brick looking for a book, but he can't find it.
Okay.
So I was hoping you would know what all of that means.
In a normal world, it means somebody painted the painting, but in our fucked up lives we've been leading these last few months, is there maybe something behind the painting? Like maybe in it?
In the painting?
Like she'll reach out and kind of like go to touch the door in the painting.
Both of you please roll me investigation rolls.
Oh,
Oh,
think
I'm
I'm
not
not-
good at this.
I think I'm not terrible at that. Oh, +2. I'll take it.
Oh, I'm spending an inspiration.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing.
Yeah,
There we
okay,
go.
11.
21.
Nice. Okay.
Okay. Vera, you reach out and you touch the door, and you can feel like the raised like swoops of oil that have like long since dried, and you can feel the texture of the canvas kind of beneath the thinner parts of the paint. It feels like a painting. Lox, while she's doing this, she's kind of stepped closer to the painting to touch it, and you're kind of still standing back looking at this thing, and as you regard it, you realize it is very, very subtle. But you can actually see that like the shadow of the leaves of the ivy and the leaves of the ivy itself are ever so slightly moving.
Wait, there's oh, don't. It's the painting is alive. It's moving. Look, come look at it where I am.
She'll move to where he's at.
Again, it's very hard to notice, but if you're still there, if you're still long enough and you stare at it long enough and you try really hard, you can see what he's talking about. There's a slight movement.
We gotta get Sylvie or Guillaume. They'll know what this is.
Is there don't you ever tell him I said this, but he's much better at this stuff than I am. So yes.
Lox is like genuinely like, oh shit, like, but he will. He takes it very seriously. He will never tell Guillaume that you said that.
Is that a truth or a lie? What's
Yeah,
she doing?
Yeah, whoa, yeah, yeah. He's like lie.
I think we would go gather the whole group.
Yeah.
For a little painting sightseeing tour.
Round up the posse.
All right. The quintet is back together, and you all stand before this painting. And again, once it's pointed out and you stop for long enough and pay close enough attention, you can see it as well.
We cast or can Sylvie cast some kind of arcana check
Absolutely.
while
Yeah, you
looking
can
at
do
the
an-
leaves?
Yeah, you can do an arcana roll. If you have a spell that you think might apply, then you could try that.
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't think she has anything right now, but I got a 26 on the arcana check.
Okay. Yeah. Guillermo, you're also rolling?
Yes, I definitely will.
Okay.
Oof. Only an 11 for me, unfortunately.
Okay. Guillaume is kind of staring at this
12.
thing the same way that some people like stare at those magic eye posters. And he's just like, you know, I don't get it. I don't see it. I don't understand what you're talking about. Sylvie, you stare at this for long enough, and you seem to remember a story about, some wizard who had an art collection and would often hide these, I just completely lost the word for it, portable holes, and things of that nature, to where the paintings on display could actually be entered as like a pocket dimension.
Sylvie looks to Lox with all seriousness. There was a wizard who would put these enchantments into paintings as a signifier that they led to somewhere else, literally. You could walk through them. She looks back at the painting.
We can walk into the painting.
Sylvie, that it would seem so, perhaps, somehow. How prominently is this like displayed up again? Can you?
So it's on the wall in the art gallery. And the art gallery is one of the rooms of the mansion where the party is kind of like permitted to kind of spill into. So there are other people here. Now, this is later in the evening, so the attendance has definitely dropped. But there is still enough people here that it might be difficult to do unseen.
Perhaps we create some kind of distraction, performance of some kind.
I think
Ew.
as literally as Sylvie is saying that, you all hear a pretty loud like crashing sound. Um and a moment after you see like you didn't see any movement, but you see like shattered pieces of what looks like a vase on the floor, and Guillaume is just standing there like twisting his arm, like his fingers a little subtly as he's like, yes, distraction. And he cast a like prestidigitation for the sound, but then very quickly manipulated a minor illusion of just like broken glass pieces, hoping to draw everyone's eye to the other side of the room for a moment.
It's definitely that kind of thing where people are, kind of turned that direction, and after a moment, anybody who's like in the immediate vicinity of this broken vase like starts to drift away from it because they certainly don't want to be blamed for having broken this.
I think Sylvie looks to Locks. Can Sylvie like ascertain how one might enter?
You got like a 20 something, right?
Yes. What did I?
26, I think you said.
Oh, where's my history?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 26.
Yeah, so absolutely. You know that almost universally from the telling that you came across that there was some form of like a passphrase or like a secret word that usually would transport you.
Yeah, Sylvie looks back to Locks. Do you know any kind of passphrase, perhaps? Or it doesn't look like you can just walk right in. You have to say something.
Locks, I think that that you would know that in the stone archway that there is a family motto, a something to that effect that is etched into the stone. You can't see it in this painting because of the ivy that's kind of like grown over and hanging it, but you would know what that slogan or that motto would be, and you think that that might be a fitting phrase.
Locks steps toward the painting and says, "Never flock alone."
And all of you watch as Locks disappears. And for a moment, the painting depicts a version of Locks in his gala attire, but as if he were painted with the strokes of a brush and oil.
That is a enlightening family motto.
Guillaume will kind of like urge the rest of you, and he'll turn back, and you see that the like shards of vase like just burst into flame.
Never flock alone.
Vera disappears, and you see a painterly version of her.
Yeah, Sylvie quickly says as well, never flock alone.
Never flock
Likewise.
alone.
And
Yeah, Guillaume walks over and says, "Never fuck alone." Oh, shit, did I mishear it? Never frock alone? Never defrock alone. Never flock alone.
and
Stumbles onto it.
Guillaume gets in there. As you are inside this painting, all of you are looking around, and it's as if you are in the space, in the courtyard or the underside of the manor house or what have you, where this actual door is located in the De Pluma estate. However, everything has a painterly look to it. Everything looks as if it is painted with oil paints. Even like if you look down at your own hands, everything has this artistic rendering, if you will. What next?
Painting Vera will look over at painting Locks and are we going in? Can you hear me? Are we talking?
We're a painting. We're inside the painting and we're part of the painting. This is the most insane thing that we've ever done.
And we recently killed a bunch of vampires.
Exactly.
Made friends with werewolves. Yes, okay.
Locks will go over to the crypt door, and it's still open?
It is, in fact.
Okay. He says, I think we should all go in here so if someone's walking by, they don't see us in the painting.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's move inside.
I want to give just a quick glance back to where we just stepped from. Can we see out into the gallery, or is it just like a painterly like continuation of this space?
So at some point, the painterly quality kind of like diminishes, almost like it loses vibrancy, and then it loses like opacity, and it eventually gets to the point where you can see basically just like charcoal sketch outlines of objects, and behind it, it just kind of slowly becomes like blank canvas. And at some point, you think that you see kind of like a rectangular shape in the distance, but you don't actually like see into the manor house. Locks, have you ever been inside this crypt before?
I think that I would have gone in there maybe once or twice to with my dad to pay respects to like his dad and other ancestors or relatives that we had lost.
Okay. So as a child going into this crypt only once or twice under this understanding, what is the emotional like note as Lox walks through a familiar set of doors into this space?
I think there's a bit of fear there, because it was a place that did frighten him as a child, and he actually remembers having dreams of like that crypt door opening and things coming out of the crypt. And so for him, it was a place that was a scary place, a dark place, and but that feeling of fear is replaced by um, sort of a warmth as he remembers, his dad leading him in, holding the lantern and showing him that there was nothing to be afraid of, that this was a place to come and reflect, that this was a place of peace and quiet. And he remembers his dad saying, the dead will never bother you like the living will. And that's something that he like, it's like one of the few things he remembers his dad saying. Um, So it's a weird mixture of emotions for him. There's a little bit of that childhood fear, especially walking into this like painting version of it. But there's also this memory playing in his head that he probably hasn't thought about in a long time.
Okay. You each move into this kind of dark, cool space. And you can feel the difference in temperature in the air. And all around you, this stone chamber kind of extends outward, and I imagine that there's probably, like crossways, like halls that cross your path every so often, and the walls are lined with plaques that are probably 4 foot wide by about 2 foot tall or so, and they sport different names. Some of them carved into the stone, some of them raised with like metallic letters that have been placed on the outside, some of which have, eroded or fallen off, but all of which seem to sport the diploma name, going back generations. It is somewhat of a gloomy place. It is a place of death. It is a place of, hidden away from the rest of the world. But you can note the level of care and reverence that this place has also been given. That is very palpable as you enter this place. There is one offshoot, one cross path that you take, Lox, and you're almost like walking on instinct at this point. And you end up finding yourself kind of following a soft candlelight, like a flickering orange light. Again, still painterly. It is still as if done by brushstroke, but you can see this kind of like flickering of candlelight that seems to kind of be emanating from the end of this corridor.
Locks will kind of look behind him, maybe see the silhouettes of his friends following behind him, and he will continue forward, and towards that flickering candlelight.
Excellent. Maybe juggle around here real quick. What is the reaction of the rest of you as you're kind of down inside this strange liminal space?
Does this seem like this might be the actual family crypt? Whereas, like, the one that's in the house is a ruse or something? Or are there no dead here and this is more of just a pocket dimension that's been decorated like it for the purpose? Like, are there actual dead ancestors here?
And without opening any of them, it's kind of hard to tell. But I mean, there are like cobwebs in the corner. There are like, there is like slight like weeping moisture on like the stone walls. So this feels, though it looks painterly, it feels incredibly realistic.
But it all still looks like a painting in here.
Yes. Yeah, even the cobwebs, even the rust or the corrosion that you might see.
Sully wants to test if magic works here, and she's gonna try and cast like a mage hand.
It does. Absolutely. But when your mage hand comes into existence, I would say that like it it comes into existence looking the way that you would normally expect it to, but very quickly it changes into being, again, kind of this brushstroke, like oil painting version.
Oh God. Vera's going to um ask Lox directly, is is this your actual family crypt?
I cannot stress to you enough that I have no idea. That I have no idea.
Have you ever
Been inside this painting? No. First time.
have you ever been in your family crypt?
Yeah, it wasn't like this. I mean, it was. This is a very, very faithful depiction as far as I can remember, but it wasn't like this. No.
Where did you go then?
I think where I'm going now.
Well, I'm right behind you.
Yes, we're all here for you. This is going to sound really, really weird, Box, but I mean, look around. Um, if we're looking for the book that you said he's looking for, and we can find it and take it, maybe. Well, I've done it before. I can speak with Dad. Maybe there's something more your ancestors could tell us if this is truly where they are. I'm offering it to you as an option.
I mean, heck, yeah. Let's get to where there's people who have died a little bit more recently, but
Okay.
yeah, sure.
Okay, we'll look for recent deaths to unearth in a painting and speak to.
Yeah, sounds good.
The sentences I say since I have met you folks are. Whew, okay. Mm-hmm.
Hey, at least you're not suggesting we chop any of these dead people up. You've come a long way, Vera.
Sometimes things have to be done. Bodies have to be disposed of. Secrets need to be kept.
I'm casting no judgments.
I highly doubt that that's a spell you know, Guillaume.
It's something that you need a whole lot of alchemical ingredients for, mostly liquor.
Lox, you continue forward. Indeed, kind of like retracing the steps that you had from that memory with your father and his lantern as he brought you down here, showing you what the dark corners held, which was, again, nothing more than cobwebs, maybe a few mice. You continue walking towards this flickering of candlelight, and at the end of this corridor, you kind of turn into an open room that you know contains the most recent burials, where you probably would have done the majority of your honoring of the dead, the people that you might have actually known in life. And there, on a pedestal against one of the walls, next to the source of what seems to be this flickering candle flame, is an open book with writing in it, and you can see a quill tucked into an ink pot behind it, all, again, still this painted quality.
I'll be damned. It's here. He'll kind of look back at everyone and then slowly approach the book.
You walk closer to it, and as you get closer, you can see it is filled with writing and sketches. And when you get closer, there's again that kind of striking familiarity that hits you, that resonates. This is your father's handwriting. You recognize this book as a journal that he kept.
This is my dad's, I think. He had a journal. This is his handwriting. I want to see what's written on the page that is sitting there open.
You see a sketch, and I don't know if you have seen this site or not, but it appears to be a horned, multi-limbed demon that is wrapped in chains.
Do two of us recognize the demon?
If you take a look at this book, you do indeed.
Mm-hmm.
What do the notes written around this sketch seem to indicate? What's the takeaway?
Mm-hmm. There is a word, name, Griodina, Grrllodena, written nearest the drawing, and has a question mark. And you can see a note that says, "Speak again with Yora Laviuma." I'll put that name here as well. And on these pages, I think that's probably what you see.
Laviuma. I will sort of just briefly sort of leaf through the book, flip through the pages and see if the rest of the book is sort of similar content from what I can tell.
So, previous entries that are closer to this, the book has kind of an amalgamation. A lot of it is like personal thoughts, reflections, recounting of events that have happened. But several of the entries that are close to the most recent one, you see multiple mentions of Lugarico, the Padre Primero's name, and that your father had a series of mounting suspicions about what his true nature might be. And in addition, as you get closer to the drawing of the chained demon itself, there is also a mention of a dark ritual used to create something called the Mothers of Amigazada.
Okay.
Which again would be familiar to your characters, as you
Right,
have seen
right.
some of them.
Holy shit! thought maybe, but this confirms it. My family, my dad was starting to figure it out. See? And that's why, what happened happened. That has to be.
You all hear the sound of stone grinding on stone. And those of you who see any amount of daylight that was still coming in from outside are thrust into darkness as the crypt door closes with a
Locks?
Yeah.
Would you like to explain why the painting of your family crypt just closed on us?
I have never been inside this painting of this crypt. I do not know.
Well, you're the only one that is remotely close to having an answer.
All right. Well, if we got in, then it stands to reason someone else could have gotten in and closed the door behind us. We just need to get back to the door and get it back open.
Everybody roll perception checks for me, please.
Is there a not flock together phrase your family likes?
29. Wow.
And I have
Perceptive
dark
mother
vision if
trucker.
it matters.
Okay.
Damn.
It probably would, I guess, in this situation. Okay. Chimeran, it is you who notices first. Maybe particularly where you're standing or something. But you notice a part of the crypt that begins kind of losing some of that painterly detail. It again becomes less saturated and is starting to become less opaque. And then you're starting to see like charcoal sketch lines, like defining the edges of shapes and objects. And then you're starting to be able to see the texture of canvas behind it. And it is unbecoming.
I think we're about to get kicked out of here. If you want that book, grab it now. Hide it. The painting is becoming undone.
I will take the book. I will stash it as best I can in my in this outfit. Actually, I might hand it to someone who's wearing like skirts and layers so that they can easily sort of tuck it away. And then I will try saying never flock alone again.
You utter this phrase, nothing happens. Around you, the crypt again slowly starts to become undone, and the edge of where that is begins to creep closer and closer to where you are.
I think Sylvie looks to Vera. You can get us out of here, right?
I can. Yes, I can, but let's move towards the. Can we move? Is the part that's disappearing the crypt door towards us, or is it the back wall towards the crypt door?
The back wall towards the crypt door.
Towards the crypt door? Okay, I'm going to usher everyone towards the crypt door and see if we can, like, get ourselves out.
Mm-hmm.
As
Karen,
a last ditch, I absolutely will use the amulet to get us out.
Karen, you were saying something?
Chimera was about to do something dumb, so I think when Vera starts ushering us out...
Oh, we like dumb. Go for it.
I was going to touch part of the painting where it was becoming undone and see what happened to me.
Excellent. Okay.
Yay.
You reach out and you touch this portion of the painting that is becoming undone. And as you do so, you watch as the painterly quality of your hand changes, becomes more like a charcoal sketch drawing, and you feel a numbness in the hand that reached out and touched it. You take 9 points of necrotic damage.
I make a slight gasp and then push past Vera towards the crypt door.
Okay. You all arrive at the back of the crypt door. I don't imagine that the back of it is anywhere nearly as ornate as the front, but it is a large stone door. And all of you can see from the back of the crypt this iris, if you will, of unmaking is slowly spreading towards you. Slowly might not be the right word. It's slowly moving, but it doesn't feel very slow.
I think as they're moving the whole time, Guillaume is just saying over and over different variations. He's like, always flock with people, never flock solo, always flock alone, always eat a bone. Like just anything like that even sounds like it or the opposite of it. Just like trying things kind of frantically under his.
A
I
bird in
want
the hand
out
is worth
now.
2 in the bush. Um,
I push against the crypt door that was closed.
Yeah, Lox would heave himself against the door.
All right, I would like a strength roll, please. You can use athletics if you would like.
I'm
can we
going
aid?
to. I'm going to put my hand on Lox's shoulder and push now. Well, we better not die in your family crypt, and give him a bardic inspiration.
Okay.
Great.
What was your question, Karen? Can
I
you
would like
aid?
to aid.
Yeah, help action? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you can have advantage.
Okay, cool. Is it D8 inspiration die? Or is it D6?
Bardic. It's a D8.
Yeah, great. Okay, with advantage. Hey, that's a nat 20 with a 7 on the Bardic die. So that's 29 total? Yes.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, Lox, you grab a hold of, what is like a kind of like a hand hold on the inside of this door, and you pull with all your might, and it's heavy. It is a stone door, but it swings wide, and you can see the courtyard area outside the door just the way that you had left it. And again, behind you, we can see this encroaching like ring of unmaking.
Lox would usher everyone through the door, and then as he's going through the door, he kind of turns and sees that iris, and he like sort of futilely like close the door on the crypt before trying to close it against this before he takes off after everybody else.
Okay. Outside of the crypt, you don't see this try to expand any closer. It doesn't seem to come outside of the crypt. Ahead of you, you can see, as we described before, almost the same effect, kind of leading to this rectangular door, portal, opening of some kind in the mid-distance from you. And your guess is, the feeling is, that that's where you came from. The phrase might work here, maybe, being outside the crypt.
Never flock alone.
In an instant, Vera is gone.
Yeah, Guillaume spits it out as fast as he can, seeing
Guillaume
Vera
disappears.
disappear.
Chimaran waits for Sylvie to say.
Yeah, never flock alone.
Sylvie disappears.
Meet you out there. Never flock alone.
Chimeran disappears.
Lox is just standing there by himself. And he's just kind of looking around at this courtyard, at the crypt. He nods, realizing it's, again, probably the last time he'll see this place. And he says, never flock alone.
Lox then dematerializes into wisps of charcoal and paint. Peering back in the art gallery one by one, you reappear. Luckily, it seems like something else has drawn the majority of the people out of this room. There doesn't really seem to be anyone here to see you kind of reappear here. Chimeran, when you reappear, your hand immediately starts bleeding from the place where you touched this part of the painting that was undoing itself. You are back in the art gallery, the five of you, and you can hear gasps and applause coming from the main room where the majority of the dancing and the pageantry were taking place.
I'll crane my head to kind of look out and see what's out there. What's going on?
You can see everybody is kind of gathered in kind of like one of the large rooms, and there is a performance that is being given kind of at the center of this congregation, on somewhat of a raised dais. It's hard to entirely tell what it is, but after just a few moments, it's very familiar. It's very something that is done often, something that's told in a lot of iterations. But this is a different twist, if you will. You see an acrobat who is balancing on a giant sphere of water. And inside the sphere of water, there is a sea elf who is kind of swimming around and interacting with this individual. And they're performing a famous love story. The love story of Maragrino and Gionesi, about a sailor's love for a beautiful sea creature, which is held in most regards to be symbolic of the Gerdesi's love of the sea itself. This is very Romeo and Juliet type vibes. It's a very common story. It's told in a bunch of different iterations, and this is just kind of one of those iterations. It seems to be a big hit so far.
As an aside, as soon as Chimeran realizes that his hand is bleeding from that, we're back in that art gallery room. I'm assuming there's some sort of table with maybe like some sort of linen that's over top of it. Decorum aside, going to grab one of those and use it to kind of wrap my hand, and so that the blood doesn't go everywhere else.
Does Sylvie see this? I assume, yes.
Maybe. I think Chimera would be trying to hide it, probably even from you guys at this point.
Okay.
I also always roll
very low on my insight,
okay.
So no, she does not.
Okay.
Is the fish back? The fish costume
no.
person?
No, you don't feel that same sensation, that same pull at all.
Do we see the madam of the house and the daughter anywhere?
Yes, you could see them in like the rotunda, like kind of watching this performance.
Well, that was an adventure. What do we do now? Do we at least go wish her congratulations on coming of the age of dealing with all of this shit.
Before we leave, Sylvie wants to look to see who might be watching them. Like if anyone saw them come out of this painting. She's looking for any, specifically for any Vicarian spies.
Ah, okay. Go ahead and roll a perception.
It's an 18.
18. Okay. You kind of look around furtively, but you don't see anybody who seems to be paying you any attention. Everybody seems to be kind of rather fixated on this performance that's going on in this other room. There's very few people that are even still in the art gallery at this point. Those that are here are occupied with one another.
Okay.
I have a question, Jeremy.
I might have an answer. Can you?
With the wine flowing as freely as it's flowing here, and us knowing the naughty side of the wine, is there anything peculiar going on that's reminiscent of the weird rain thing that happened during the ritual the last time people were getting drunk on this wine
Mm.
in a gathering? Like anything that looks like, if I look at the ceiling, does it look like maybe there's somebody casting some sort of a rain spell, or does it look like there's anything rigged up to transport weird water around? Or I'm just kind of trying to get anything that ties to the vampiric aspect of this that we experienced.
Yeah, I mean, not overly anything like that. If you're looking around, especially given Vera's occupation, you notice that people are feeling a little bitey this evening. You see more than a few teeth marks on people's necks or on their wrists, some of which did draw blood. Which, again, it's probably not the first time that Vera would have seen that kind of stuff in her line of work, but it is prevalent at this party.
There is a small part of me that wishes we could just cast a daylight spell and see what happens in here. Has anyone else noticed that they're very bitey tonight? Is there anyone that looks like it might actually be a vampire feeding on someone? Like legit feeding on someone in a corner somewhere or anything?
Not anything that you have seen, no. You don't see anybody that looks like they have been like drained either. At least not entirely.
Hi, Marin is looking for the person in the jester's costume that had
Okay.
the mask of perfume before, to see if he's still around.
I don't think so. I think that person probably left. So what is the plan? Are you going to hang out here until the party officially winds down? Are you going to try to find your way to the door?
Wasn't part of our original purpose in wanting to come to this, I'm trying to remember because we had a reason. It's just been a while. I thought we wanted to talk to the birthday girl for some reason.
Did you have poisons you were trying to get made? Or have questions about poisons?
I swear we had like a fairly specific
Yeah,
reason for wanting to
I, f-
come to this
I
because we
feel like
had
we did
like
too.
we angled to get the invites, and I'm just blanking on what our
Hmm.
original purpose was.
I don't recall, to be honest.
We rescued his dad. I'm going through
Mhm.
my notes.
Yeah, and the Three Musketeers.
I remember we had like a
Nice.
whole laundry list of things to do, and we chose your dad first.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, first we rescued the urchins.
mm,
Then
Yep,
we
that is
went for my
correct.
dad. We did check out the Castillo and the what's it, De La Plume
The Diploma estate.
mansion,
Yep.
Diploma estate. And I don't know, I could be way off base, but I just have this like nagging
Mhm.
suspicion that there was a thing we wanted to accomplish at this party.
Well,
There
I
was
Yeah.
can't.
somebody that we wanted to
Yeah,
like run into.
I can't remember what that was, but I'm going to, while there's an art gallery here, and knowing that one of the paintings was kind of magical, I would like to take a look at all the other paintings in case the
Mm.
Contessa's painting is actually here.
Okay.
Oh, I was also gonna watch the that crypt painting and see if the spell is broken now that the book has been taken out.
Okay. Both of you can roll investigation rolls for me. Locks, you can have advantage on this one.
14 for me.
Okay.
8.
8. Okay. Cameron, you're kind of looking around the rest of this gallery, and while there are some fine pieces here, things that you would maybe even know by name, or who the actual artist was that made it, none of them are the portrait that depicts the Condessa. None of them seem to be um, even the same like size or dimension. Um, Locks, you're staring at this painting, and it's really hard to tell. It doesn't look like it's moving, but then maybe it did. Like, did it just move? You can't. Maybe. I don't know. It's almost like, again, like you were able to see the magic eye at one point, and now you can't make your eyes do that thing again. Good question. Um, you closed the door behind you, yeah? It is closed. There is suddenly an ear piercing scream, followed by a collective gasp and a kind of silence that comes from the room where the performance is going on next door to the art gallery.
I Vera will immediately rush towards it.
Okay. You round the corner to where you can see into this rotunda, and you see the crowd has parted around a tall, slender woman in red, with a red veil and a white half mask that has fallen to the ground. As she staggers into the center of the room, impaled, she coughs once, twice, and then collapses to the ground.
What's she impaled with?
Looks like some form of, like a spear? Maybe like something that was formed by magic, maybe. It doesn't really seem like a forged weapon.
Is it the
Uh,
same woman that
yeah,
was
I was going
talking?
to confirm it's the same woman. Yeah,
It is.
I will tell everyone. I was like, that's the contact.
Um, I'm gonna try to throw a healing word on her. See if I can keep her alive somehow.
You try to do so, but you realize that she is already gone.
Okay.
Mm.
When you get close enough, you can see that there is something that she is clutching in her hand.
Is everybody crowded around her at this point? Like, are there people looking?
They're definitely starting to like form a ring. You know, like people had like cleared away whenever they realized that there was some kind of danger. But now that she has perished, they're definitely starting to like move in.
I would like to be part of that group that's moving in, and I want to try to sleight of hand remove whatever was in her hand.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand roll.
18.
Okay. Um, in the chaos, the aftermath of what has happened, you deftly kind of swoop in and pick this up before anybody seems to notice. And what you see is a white feather that is now covered in blood.
Does
I
this look
definitely
like... Oh,
have
sorry.
that. Sorry, I definitely have it disappear within my own costume. Um, but yeah, I was gonna. Does it does it look like the runner-up, one of the runner-ups of the costume contest?
Now that you mention it, it does vaguely look like it might have belonged to a feathered wing of a swan costume.
Yeah, so once I've got it and I've hidden it away, I will go um uh get out of the crowd that is now around the body. Um I don't know if I want to draw attention to us as a group at this point, but I want to make eye contact um with one of them, whoever I can make first see and make contact with. Um Basically to indicate that we should go, or that I have something. Yeah.
She'll kind of act with some authority. Get the body and move it into a room. We can speak to it. She's kind of looking at like Lox and Guillaume to like act like they know what they're doing here. Try to steal the body.
It's all right, everyone. I'm a doctor. I will examine her. I will make sure she is all right. Come, you, and I'll point. I'll honestly just pick out like the two like biggest looking people and like you two. You help me. You help me. You will move. You will move her. Get her out of this space. We need. She needs room to breathe.
Make a performance or a deception roll, please.
I would like to assist him by doing this. Come now, get it. Yes, get it moving. This is a celebration. We can't have these kinds of things happening. Move.
So you can have
And give him
advantage on
the
that roll.
help.
Okay. Okay. That's a 16.
Okay. Not your most commanding performance, but it would do on most stages. You managed to rope in the two larger individuals to carry her, and you overhear one of them say, "I don't think he's going to be able to help her."
Damn it, we have to try. And I'll get them as soon as they've like set her down in an adjacent room, any place with a door, basically. I will just immediately shoo them out. Like, Like, I need my assistant. Um, send in the wolf woman.
One of the brutes returns to where you are, Vera.
Uh,
The doctor says he wants to see you.
oh, yes, certainly, right away, right away. Carry on, music, start it back up. Let's go. Um, you there, and she'll point to like a wait staff member. Get a mop, and then she'll head into the doctor room. Um,
By the time
she'll
that you get to where Guillaume is, um, this woman's mask was removed whenever she was stabbed. It fell from her face to the floor. Now all she had was just this veil, this red kind of like tulle type fabric kind of around her head, which is now like fallen away. And you can see that it is not, in fact, a tall, slender woman at all. It is a dwarf. Lox, you recognize this dwarf from a distant memory. Her name was Inés de Rio, and she was a teniente in the Justicaros. She saved your life as a child. And that is where we're going to end our session. All right. I'm so giddy about this episode. I really, really am. I'm very, very stoked about where we are and what has been revealed and what still is yet to come. And being able to shroud some of that in the guise of a masquerade was a lot of fun. So I'm going to pass things back over to my players so that they can give any kind of parting words that they would like to, once again, touch on where you may be able to find them, what they might have going on, and then we're going to call it a night. So we're going to start in reverse order with Karen.
Oh, it's so good to be back. Missed this game. Can't wait for the next one. Oh, there's so much afoot. So many questions. We get an answer and 5 more questions every single time. It's amazing. I love it. Where can you find me? Well, here. You can find me here every 4th Wednesday. And you can find me at Mini Train Domain, except that we're going on hiatus for December. So come back in January, except for every Monday we are doing interludes, so you can come and watch those if you still want to do that, because that'll be awesome. Yeah, I love this group. I love this game. Cannot wait for the next one. And with that, I will pass it on to Guillaume, Austin.
Thank you. This was a ton of fun. I am both really bummed that I didn't get to hear more of your truths and lies, and slightly on the verge of saying, you should all say one of them in your outro today, because I want to know. So, like, Karen, if you feel like it.
I totally want to hear everybody's as well. So
Let's.
Okay. So the other 2 that you guys did not hear was, I have given birth and I am in love with a rodent.
Amazing. I had one very simple one, which was that I've never traveled out of Aladalgo. Which only just recently became a lie. Like, I think our trip out to the castle was the first time I've left the city. And the other one is that I have successfully completed 7 courses of study at the university, but have achieved still have not taken a degree. That one's true. So that was a super fun game. I'm really looking forward to seeing where we go from here. It was really fun to, I think, as I said in the chat, Super Mario 64 into a painting. And it was, I literally just had Take On Me playing in my head the whole time, by the way. Like, I was imagining like a hand reaching out of the crypt door to like pull us in. But anyway, super fun game. And with that, I will pass it to M.
Yeah, fantastic game. My other truth was that I absolutely detest the color peach, especially in satin fabrics. And the other truth, I think I'm going to keep that private because I think it will come out later on. But absolutely fantastic game. So thankful for this group. And yeah, happy American Thanksgiving. And I will pass it to Matt.
Okay. My remaining truths were my dad kept his diary in an enchanted painting. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't actually have that written down. My other two were I once skinny dipped in the Aladalco canals, and I was married once. The marriage is a lie. Locks would never get married. He would never get married. What a joke. Yeah, this was a great session. I had so much fun. Uh the all of the mini games, Jeremy, that you had, I think I overheard that you developed those with your wife's help. They were great. They were so much fun. I had a blast. Um yeah, I'm really excited. It feels like we're hitting another sort of rising action here of sort of the third act of the campaign. It just feels the tension is mounting, and I'm really enjoying it. So, thank you as always, Jeremy, for running such an incredible game. And I will pass it on over to Kenya.
Standard thank you, Jeremy. I just I can never get enough of this game. Um, I would like to submit a motion that we play weekly. Um, and or bi-weekly. I'm not greedy. I'll take bi-weekly. That's fine. That's fine. Weekly's a little rough. Um, but so Vera, everyone heard Vera's lie that she was telling, which is that her oldest child is in boarding school. Her two truths, which are fine to come out now, are that she cannot ride a bike. It just, of all the talent she has, for some reason, bike riding is just, she gets annoyed with it and she just cannot be bothered when she has perfectly, wonderfully strapping attendants at the Castillo to carry her around. Why would she ride a bike? It just makes no sense. Um, exactly. She likes to ride all the other things. She has other riding talents that remain elsewhere. And the second one, and I'm throwing this out as a little thing to the DM, and he can do with it as he will or not. Her home is haunted. I decided that was her truth. I just decided to throw a haunting in there. So whether or not the DM chooses to use it, I don't know. It just sounded like a fun and interesting truth to tell. Um, cannot wait until next session. Whether that be December or because of the holidays, we push it on until January. I am going to be excited to sit at the table again with you guys and see what comes of the gossip that we have to talk about too, that Sylvia and I didn't get to share that we heard. So very important, especially that little tidbit about the Contessa there. So Jeremy, it's all you.
Yeah. What a tremendous session. Thank y'all for always being willing to go wherever it is that this game might lead us. I know that this is an atypical Dungeons and Dragons game, and I adore it. I love the fact that it is such a different story, and that I'm getting to tell that story with all of y'all. This is fantastic. Like I said, Gerdes has been a place that I have wanted to explore for a long time, and I am very, very happy to have found a group that it resonates so well with, that everybody seems so eager to see more, to get involved deeper in what's going on, and to bring all of the kind of fantastic material that all of you have brought to your individual character backstories, but also to the little moments that you all steal with each other's characters. It's a great pleasure of mine as a storyteller, as a dungeon master. So thank you. Yeah, I am very excited. I am glad that it feels like the tension is mounting. That is intentional, and I'm very excited for what it's going to mean for the future. So, yeah, if you happen to watch this evening and you like what you saw, then do all the stuff that the YouTube algorithm likes. Hit the like button, subscribe, make a comment, share the link around, talk about it with your friends. Yeah, do all that kind of stuff so it helps the channel. Helps me do more of what we're doing here. What else? Remember, to be kind. Kindness is a free action. It costs you absolutely nothing to be kind to someone else, and it's desperately needed in the world. I am reminded of that on more occasions than I should be. That there are a lot of people out there that don't understand that kindness is a great thing to pass from one person to another. Again, I truly do believe that it is how we change the way that the world works. You don't have to like everybody. You don't have to agree with everybody. But you can be kind to everybody. It costs you nothing to do so. And it could make the difference to that other person. So go out and be kind. Unless they're a fucking Nazi. And then push them into a living painting and shut the door. So, what else? Oh, speaking of tearing the throats out of Nazis, next month there will be a 2-part game right here on the channel of Eat the Reich. We are going to be playing O Tannenbaum. We will be playing a squad of commando vampires who are coffin dropped into Paris during World War II with the express intent of draining all of Hitler's blood. So, it's going to be our Christmas game. So come back and check that out. It's bound to be a blast. We also have, I think, maybe the entirety in December of the next round of Fiasco here on the channel. And oddly enough, it is De Medici, so it'll have a lot of similar notes to this campaign. So if you liked what you saw tonight, then come back for that. Because Fiasco is a fucking dumpster fire, but in the best way. So, yeah, I think that's it. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. If you live in the States and you celebrate, then I hope that you have a very safe and warm and incorporating Thanksgiving. I hope that your time with your family goes well. Much love to all of you, both here around the table and out there in the audience. It means the world to me that I get to do this for fun with some of my friends. I love this hobby. I love what it can bring to people's lives, and I truly believe that it is one of the best methods of storytelling that is out there. So I'm glad that I have a place to do this and that there are people who seem to enjoy it. So thank you. All right, until next time, may your dice roll high and your snacks always be within reach.